the prerequisite for the tools? Do all of them know how to use the protractor? I would have them again measure the angle so they don't. I can. Go
Yeah,
with it.
I would maybe go back over that, and just, you know, and make them think about, you know, which set of numbers to use on the protractor.
Okay.
You know, if it's 40 degrees, you're not gonna go all the way around.
Right,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and again, they know that, they know what an acute angle is.
Right.
They just struggle with processing it and making a logical reasoning statement behind, you know, and putting some thought process into it. So yeah, I mean, I definitely will not hurt to review that at all.
So we'll go over that. Those are the basics, I guess, knowledge that they need in order to participate in the lesson to classifying training. Then they will build on this concept, knowing angles on theorem, to go to exterior angles on triangle.
And I liked that you said you're gonna do the activity where they take the three angles and then put them in a straight line.
Right.
Because that's really gonna help them with exterior
Exterior
angles.
angles, yeah.
Because there's no way around it, a straight line at 180 degrees.
Right, yeah.
So, and that's kind of all the knowledge that you really need when you're finding an exterior angle. When we get into, classifying triangles by sides is gonna be next. Would you want to do all classifying at the beginning?
But I was
Or
gonna
do you think
separate-
that's just too much?
Yeah, I was going to separate them because I don't want to confuse them. I was
Okay.
going to sides
Right.
and the angles.
Yeah, yep, they get confused by, you know, these are your only options for sides, these
Yes.
are your only options for angles. I say that about a million times when I teach this. And then I think, what's next? Triangle inequality theorem. This is really good for them. When I was helping kids with Ames review stuff, there's a triangle inequality theorem on the AIM practice,
Okay.
and almost all students that I was helping did not know this. You know, they didn't know how to process what are acceptable lengths of a triangle,
Right.
or why can't a triangle just be any length that you want it to be.
Right, yeah.
But when I did explain it, you know, I took I took 3 pencils together and I put, you know, and when I explained it, then they all got it,
Okay.
you know, so this one will be a good one to do with them,
Yeah, I
especially.
think if this one, if they explore it themselves
Right.
again, it maybe it's covered
Yeah.
and then it becomes.
Totally, because then I was like moving, I was making the bottom of it, you know, the bottom of the triangle longer, and then I was having to stretch them out, and then the kids saw that, well, now they're laying on top of each other,
Right.
and now you don't have a triangle.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, that was one of the most common questions I got on Ames review. And then I think, what would be next? Isosceles triangles, again. And again, this is just gonna be basically for algebra review. Isosceles, you need to know that the 2 sides are equal, and then they're gonna have two expressions, they set them equal, solve for x. On page 135. You know, and that's just your algebra review, but they gotta know isosceles is 2 sides are.
I guess when we do the sides one, we can include isosceles.
Yeah, I don't know,
all the
I
time
wouldn't
then.
say that this needs to
Separate.
be almost separate,
Right.
yeah. I don't really like how I do this. Okay, side angle relationship. This is a good one too, because it makes them, you know, recognize that the larger the angle, the larger the opposite side's gonna be. When I teach this, I always use the example of being in a movie theater. and I asked them why the projector is in the back of the movie theater. You know, cause the screen is very large, and so if the projector was at the front, I always explain that to them, with study relationships. Where is exterior angles on?
That was part three.
Really?
So after, yeah, I guess, once they're done, excuse me, once they're done with classifying and knowing the angles on here and exploring, measuring and discovering it, and like you said, understanding and not just knowing the definitions,
Yeah.
then they're gonna be exterior angles, unless if you want to wait on that.
Can you say that one more time?
The exterior angles of the triangle.
Okay.
They just finished the angles from here and then classifying triangles. Then the next thing is exterior angles of the triangle.
Okay, no, that's good.
If you want to move
Yeah.
it around and keep it that
No,
way.
yeah, keep it. Keep it, but combine,
Because as you said.
yeah, side angle, or I'm sorry,
Side.
isosceles,
Goes with
yeah,
classifying.
yeah, goes with classifying that.
And all of it, again, I will try as much as I can not to, because these are things that they can, I guess, discover on their own. I'll try as much as possible. to
Yeah,
help them.
and this will be a fun chapter, this is an important chapter, yeah.
This is
Triangle, yeah, I mean, it's geometry, it's triangles, you know. Congruent triangles. I don't see any major challenges there.
Yeah, because most of them, again, the background knowledge of knowing what congruent is. They
Yeah,
all
and
are
they can
the
match them up,
So-
and we've been talking, you know, with corresponding, and we've been talking about corresponding with the angles and transversals
Right.
anyway.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't see too many issues with congruent triangles, you know, they can match them. The only issue that I would see there was, like if the triangles are flipped around or rotated.
Yeah.
And I always have them, you know, adjust it and write it, yeah, or, you know, and orient the second triangle, you know, as the first one in.
Yeah.
That's really the